Hi guys, I just wanted to come on and chit chat. I have to teach at 7 and I'm going to teach on some things because one of the things you will hear about from me is called the genius of the black preacher. And there is a genius there that builds in our community to hold us together as a people, even when there's chaos and calamity all around us. We know how to hold each other together. And that's what I'm going to do tonight in light of a lot of the things that happened. I'm going to check the news before we start. But it's imperative for you to realize that we are living in what they call shock doctrine. Now, that is a book, and you can go pick it up probably at Amazon or somewhere like that. But it has to do with neoliberalism. And neoliberalism is a policy model. It's a policy model. And I know I'm Charlotte, Pastor Caldwell, but I got to delve into this because I know my people have questions. I have senior citizens who have caregivers and all of those things. And now they may not be able to have that financial support to have those things. So we're living in the shock doctrine. How can we continually shock the people and shock the people? Well, they want to do it because of this neoliberalism, a policy model that encompasses both politics and economics. So neoliberalism encompasses both politics and economics. Now, here's the kicker. It favors private enterprises. So think about years ago, I think when Barack Obama was president, the Supreme Court made corporations human beings. Yeah, they did. Craziest thing. We've had the craziest Supreme Court. They've been like the lowest court, not the Supreme, in my assessment. And this is for entertainment purposes only. Let me start saying that. But it favors private enterprises and seeks to transfer control of economic factors from government to private sectors. So we're in the midst of something that is much bigger and deeper than anything we could imagine, and it's worldwide. So I was watching Grand Madame today. You know, I watch my tarot card readers for their wisdom, for their spiritual light, and connecting to that mystical side that I love dearly as a mystic myself. Herbally Hip Tarot, uh, Makester Tarot. I think she's out of Australia or somewhere. I do need to watch Linda G and Marianne from Revealing Light. Marianne has a book coming out, and I need to watch. She and Linda. Linda's interviewing her, and I need to order her book. But that mystical aspect, in all honesty, you're experiencing what African descended people have experienced for years. The genius of the black preacher is coming into that mystical moment, finding fragments, if they're there, pulling the people together so that they stay filled with hope. Because you can't stop the tribulation. You can't stop it. In my community, it is almost constant. You can't stop the cataclysmic things that happen. And that's part of this. The shock doctrine is that chaos and all of the things going on is how they propel this model of going from government to private sector. And they do it through shocking the people in horrendous ways. What a horrible thing to scare parents of little children who are barely making it, because the private sector refuses to give prices that people can afford. They are constantly elevating the price. And when you think it can't go any higher, boom, there it goes. It's clicking up, it's clicking up, it's clicking up. And people are trying to make some sense of this. Don't lose your mind. Don't lose hope. And please don't lose heart. Because we're going to have this information scrolling through, and you have to be able to handle it. No matter what they send your way, you need to set your intentions on higher things. Higher things. Because if you get down into the chaos, your energy is going to drop. You're going to feel a sinking in your chest. And you're going to throw your own vibrational energy off. Again, today, as I'm sitting here talking to you, I have my bare feet on my grounding mat. I am constantly grounding myself, centering myself. Because you have to do that. And I have sage and palo sticks. You got to clear the energy around you. This stuff that comes through the TV is just to suck the life out of you. It really is. Be very wise with what you watch. So all of the mystics are picking up various energy. I'm picking it up too. But the thing is, we have to understand that most of what we're dealing with, see if I can make this a little smaller so I can see it. Most of what we're dealing with is manufactured. It's manufactured to produce something out of us. What do they want out of us? For us to be docile and just take it. That's not how it works in my community. Sure, it may appear that we take it many times, but we're always going forward. Even in the worst of conditions, the trauma that has happened to us as a people. I reminded a friend, we would cook all of this wonderful dinner our ancestors would during the holidays and things like that. We would just get a pail that had nothing but, I'm looking for my Kleenex, I don't have it. Had nothing but whatever was left over from the animal. Once we took all of the good meat and the good things off, prepared it and sat it on their table, we were left with the leftovers. And what did our ancestors do? They learned how to make a steak dinner out of pig's feet and the pig intestines. And we lived on that. And they could take just 2 eggs. And what they would do is they would take the pork brain and scramble it in with the eggs. And they lived healthy for years. My grandparents, who were born in the early 1900s, like 1905 and 1912, they lived through the Great Depression. And they told me they never got into one line for soup. So the genius of the black preacher is when we come together and we look at how we make something out of nothing, and what some people think is nothing, we take it and make something wonderful out of it. Something that is survival for the family, survival for the community, survival for the individual. So the crises that are produced or actual perceived, the only crisis, actual or perceived, the only crisis that we have, whether actual or perceived, produces the change that they want. There is a reason, and I know so many people are upset, even African American people, some that are wanting to get certain things done, that black women sat down. We're not going to be a part of that crisis, whether perceived or actual, that produces change for a system that was written out. You know the system, the Project 2025, that was written out, that was pretty much to our destruction and undoing our education and everything else. There were at length, I know Tabitha spoke at length. Actually, Tabitha Speaks Politics is where I heard about Project 2025 first. And as a pastor, I had to go delve in because I'm thinking about, I need to let the people know what's coming up. And there have been so many people that told me, oh, that it's not a real thing. It really isn't. How is that working for you right now, beloved? So I saw a little snippet, just a little, that was saying that they were rescinding the shutting down of the federal government. They have no choice. It's against the law. So for all of you who are out there worried and things, breathe in to the count of 5. Hold for the count of 5. Breathe out through your mouth to the count of 5. Then repeat that 3 times. I will tell you this almost every time I come on. If you feel like all of that they're putting out in media and things is getting in your place of dwelling, light your sage stick. Put your sage lighter up. I keep sage oil, sage sticks, palo sticks. Yes, Charlotte Pastor Caldwell believes in spiritual cleansing. It is necessary. Now, I can tell those at the church about these things. If they do them, they do them. If they don't, they don't. I can't make anybody do anything. And you know what I say, I only have to do 2 things. There's 2 things Charlotte Pastor Caldwell has to do, and that's stay black and one day die. That's all I have to do. So whether actual or perceived, see, we've been perceiving the harm. For example, they told all the federal workers that they attempted to fire, that also was illegal. That if they signed this agreement just to quit, that they would pay them until September of this year, I think. This is where we're going to get a lesson on the laws, the American laws, and how the government functions. We're going to get a whole education on that, because a lot of that was taken out of schools and kids don't learn it the way we used to. You no longer have Sesame Street and all those things teaching you about a bill that's got to walk up on Capitol Hill. We don't have those things. Now, my daughters had them because I forced them on them. You need to know how to function within your country, and that means knowing the government of your country. So the change that's trying to be produced, we don't know what it's all for. I can tell you this. It's not because of making anything great. It's actually to make it so horrible for the people. You know how I know? Because you have scared the heebie-jeebies out of senior citizens. You have scared the heebie-jeebies out of parents, single parents especially, with little children. But there are married couples, they need the SNAP. They need the WIC. They need the before school meal. They need the lunch meal. They need those things. Because no matter what, around the world, guess what we all do? We get hungry and we get thirsty. No way around it. So tonight, as I teach, I'm going to talk about that tribulation, that hard thing that gives you patience. See, when you're able to get in the storm, just ride it out. Being in a storm will give you patience and experience. Some of our young people have never experienced this type of, I'm going to say shenanigans that we see going on politically that is affecting the people in their pockets. So now, when they come on, and I really, one day I'm going to talk to a politician that's going to spread the word. But when they start talking about kitchen table issues, when they start talking, do they realize not everyone has a kitchen table? Not everyone does. So as they manufacture and produce all of these various things, I want to look at this. As they manufacture and produce various things, Desmond Tutu said, hope is being able to see that there is light despite of all the darkness. Hope is being able to see that there is light in spite of all the darkness. And that's what I want you to know. No matter how dark they make it appear to be, there is light. And did you know, in the beginning, if you ascribe to a Hebrew text, in the beginning, light and darkness dwelt together. The deity separated them. So it's okay. I can sit in absolute darkness and close my eyes, and there's nothing but light as I go through the myriad of realms, as I talk to my ancestors. The light is there. You need to still yourself, do the breathing that I'm telling you to do. Do it. Center, steady yourself, and then let the light just show you that the light is there. It's never left. All of the illusion and the delusion is to take you off your game so you lose focus on light and love. And then once we get through all this tribulation stuff and we have our patience and our experience, it gives birth to hope. So, there was a professor who said that Black people are addicted to hope. We've been through enough tribulation that has given us so much patience and experience that we have hope for 1,000,000 generations. So we're not addicted. It's built in. To say that we're addicted to it means we're looking for it in places it's already there. Because if you've gone through the things we've gone through as a people, think about it. February is Black History Month. Well, according to them, not anymore. No, it's Black History Month. We just keep on going. Put our t-shirts on, do what we're going to do, honor Black ancestors, living ancestors right now, those that are doing great things like Jasmine Crockett. You just keep on going. Don't you let nothing turn you around. That's why they would sing that. I ain't gonna let nothing turn me around. Don't you let anything strip you of your hope. Don't you do it. Guess what? You have a bank that is filled with hope. A bank that has been set there by our ancestors who went through all the tribulation, praying and covering us, seeing better days for their children's 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 children. If you need to make a withdrawal, make a withdrawal. But you stay hopeful. If that means watching whatever you need to watch on TV, turn on a movie. Go back to, if you're elderly, go back to some of the was it Red Fox? Red Fox. Go watch some Red Fox. Pull up David Chappelle. Look at some movies. Find some old movies. Like my uncle who, if he ever visits, he watches Westerns 24/7. And my auntie does too. And we're like, baby, there are other things on TV. And my daughter finally was able to get my auntie to watch something that was more modern. It was about the formation of the state of Montana and some of those places out there. So it still had a Western feel to it. And she fell in love with it because Monica was like, oh God, Mommy, I don't know if I can take this. But be hopeful. Be hopeful. So I have about 30 minutes and I have to crank up everything to go ahead and teach tonight. But I just wanted to stop in and tell you to be hopeful. Be nothing but hopeful. You have a right to hope. You have a right. All the things that we have been going through, you have patience. If you make it through a real bad or hard time and then wonder why sometimes people come and try to rattle you and you're like, that hard time gave you patience, which gave you experience. That's by Cat Mr. Tux, which gave you experience and hope. You guys stay strong. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys. Bye.